Hey, it's Megan. Welcome back to another Christmas decorating video. In this video, we are decorating my tree for Christmas. Super stoked because this is the first year I've ever had a flock tree. Last year, I picked up a tree my neighbors were throwing away, which is crazy. Beautiful, huge tree, pre-lit, but it was too big. So I was able to gift that to another set of neighbors that moved in. They didn't have a tree, and I purchased this one from At Home. It's only 7 feet and it's pre-lit. It's small enough and it's just perfect for our little living room. I want to say the main thing I do differently than I see everyone else do on YouTube. I don't know why, I don't know if this is the wrong way or if there's a reason for it, but I like to fluff my tree as I'm putting it together. So I will grab a piece of tree, put it down, fluff out that, get the next piece, fluff it out. And I just find it easier to do because you can really get inside the branches and pull each piece apart individually. And yeah, it's just easier for me. I don't know why I don't see other people doing it. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's just YouTube where other people don't do it. Who knows? Either way, now we're getting started. And I promise you, even if my style isn't your style, you should be able to pick up something from this video because these tips and tricks really apply to almost any tree style decor. After I fluff my tree, I like to add my ribbon. Most people will say, hey, use a wired ribbon. And I do think that's a best practice, but this burlap ribbon right here, this is from Walmart. It is super inexpensive. I think you get like 30 feet, I don't know, less than $5. So what I do is I just start my ribbon, I will poof it out. I try to take an empty area, stick it in, and then just continue like wrapping it around. And so when I push it in, what I'll do is I'll slightly flip it, like turn it this way, and then just continue rolling it all the way down until I get to my next spot. If your ribbon isn't wired or it's just not staying in place, you can get some garland ties from Dollar Tree for only $1. Take that, wrap it around your ribbon, and then tie it to your tree. That will keep your ribbon nice in place. Like I said, mine is not wired at all. You can see it's really fluffy and flimsy, but it does stay in place and this works out really well. If you have a very thin tree, like this tree is not very full, if I flicked a branch, you'd see a big hole in it. Adding ribbon really does help fill in those gaps and just makes a fuller tree. If you're looking for a budget-friendly ribbon, because the price of ribbon can really add up. So if you're looking for a really budget-friendly option, you can use burlap like I'm using, or I suggest looking in Walmart's clearance section for ribbon. It may not be wired, but you can use the garland ties, tulle or mesh. Those are all wider ribbons that will cover a good amount of area to fill in the gaps in your tree. To give you an idea, I use 30 feet of ribbon and my tree is 7 feet tall and 44 inches wide. Step 3, add your picks, your stems, your florals. I really only started doing this about 2 to 3 years ago, but it makes such a huge difference in filling in a full tree. I don't want it to look like a pattern, but I do want it to be balanced. Let me put it that way. So I have one right here. I'm gonna put another one right here. And when you add your stems, really fluff them out, pull them out, make them full, cover up any large holes, and try to work in a zigzag pattern. So one at the right, then one at the left, one a little bit lower, on the left again. And it really does, I'm telling you, it fills out the tree. I'm kind of mad I didn't do this sooner because it takes even an expensive looking tree to the next level. And if you're looking for budget-friendly picks, look at Dollar General. They have a lot of options for $3 or less. Really blown away with their stem selection this year. And I used 7 picks, but I used the same amount of picks when I had my larger tree last year. And now we're moving on to ornaments. I like to hold my ornaments or store my ornaments. I don't like to hold my ornaments. I like to store my ornaments in this extra large storage bin from Home Depot, and then I will organize them in reusable plastic bags from Dollar Tree by style, color, so even our sentimental ornaments, I keep all of those together and then all my white ornaments together, the kids' tree ornaments together. And last year I had purchased these wooden beads from At Home. They were $5.99, 12 feet of beads, which is really a great deal. But this year I wanted darker beads and I got these from Walmart. So one of the very few new purchases I made this year. And you get the same amount of beads. So for $5.98, you get 12 feet of beads. So At Home or Walmart, Both have great deal on beaded garland. And if you are adding beaded garland or tinsel garland, any garland, go ahead and add that now. So after you add your picks, but before you add your ornaments. And the reason I don't do this after I do my ribbon is because the beaded garland, you just lay it on the tree. So just lay it on the branches, let it hang. You don't pull it tight, you don't push it in too far. And when you go back and add your picks, you're really like moving the tree around, pushing it around to spread the picks out. So I just find it easier to add it right now. But once again, this is optional. This doesn't help fill in the tree. It's just a personal preference, y'all. And I ended up using 3 strands of beaded garland. So what is that? 12 times 3? Is it 36? I don't know. It's 12 times 3, whatever that is. And now we're just gonna add our larger ornaments. So after you've added your garland or after you've added your picks, go through and add extra large ornaments, and you're gonna push these deep into your tree to fill in any gaps or holes. The ornaments I'm using, these are from Dollar Tree. I got the silver ornaments and added some of Dollar Tree's faux snow to them. You start at the bottom of your tree and then work your way up to the top. But if you're interested in how I made these, it's in my $15 tree ornament video, and I'll have that linked in the description and at the end of the video. After you've added your larger ornaments, then you want to add your basic regular old ornament, solid color, or just simple round ornaments. And I like to add all the same color at once because that's really going to help out with the overall balance of the tree. Like not all my white ornaments will be on one side. I also like to get different sizes, if possible, of the same color. So I have multiple sizes of white ornaments. And I think that's one thing that I've noticed when helping people decorate their tree. It's like all of their ornaments are the same size. So if you're looking at your tree and it's like, no matter what I do, my tree just doesn't look right, try using different sizes of ornaments, different sizes of the same style even. That really helps out. Now for the most part, I just use white and natural or neutral colored ornaments. And so I add those next, but just so you know, I mean, I did end up going back and removing the burlap ornaments just because it wasn't looking right. It was too much brown burlap, so I took those off. And that's just part of decorating a tree too, is adding and then taking away as you go. Lastly, for just my regular basic old ornaments, these are some berry ornaments, also Dollar Tree DIY, also shown in the ornament video that will be linked in the description and at the end of this video. Because these are berries, I place these just trying to balance out the red berries that are already on the tree. So when I stand back and if I squint my eyes, I see little red dots that are evenly spaced out. Does that make sense? Does anyone else do that if they don't have a pre-lit tree? Like you stand back, squint your eyes to see if your lights are balanced? That's what I used to do. That's what I still do with one of my other trees. And then we are adding our specialty ornaments or oddly shaped ornaments. They don't have to be special. They just have to be different than the rest. And so this year I'm just using these music sheets. These are a DIY from last year. I also have a video on that, and that'll also be linked at the end of the description, and some of Dollar Tree's just wooden snowflake cutout ornaments. The little wooden ornaments you saw that are little rectangles, those are a DIY. That's also in the larger video. I think that's the very first DIY that's shown. When I add my music sheets, I really follow the same rule that I followed with adding the picks, which is spacing it out, doing a zigzag pattern, and I pretty much just put them the opposite way that I did the floral picks. And you could do the same thing even if you don't have music sheet ornaments. Then to finish this off, I'm going back and adding pine cones. Even though pine cones are already on my tree, this tree isn't the most expensive tree. It's not the most full tree. So these are just pine cones that I had my kids, free child labor y'all, paint with some chalk paint last year, and the same ornaments that I used on my garland mantle. My mantle, the garland on my mantle. And what I love about using pine cones is it really fills out the tree, it gives it a natural look, and you don't have to add any wire. The pine cones themselves will kind of stick to the pine branches of the tree, and it looks really, really great. Great way to fill in your tree. Lastly, add your topper. You can use a star, you can use more floral picks. I just use a basic old bow using Dollar Tree's ribbon. I don't know how to tie a bow very well, but I made one, a sorry little bow, and then just stuck it at the top. So, or you could totally just omit the tree topper. I've seen a lot of people doing that on Instagram lately, and I think it looks fine without a tree topper. And that's it. So like I said, whether my style is your style or not, that's okay. You can follow these steps and still have a beautiful tree, even if you just use family ornaments. As long as you balance your tree out, you fill the gaps and the holes. If you don't want to use ribbon, that's fine. Just use extra picks. If you don't want to use picks, use extra ribbon. Just make sure the gaps are filled in and place your ornament. So stepping back, squinting your eyes, it will look balanced out and your tree will look beautiful, gorgeous. Now, everyone always asks, the clock on my mantle is from the store at home. That will be linked in the description. The candlesticks, those were thrifted and I spray painted them black. So I'm sorry I couldn't be more helpful there. Also, if you missed my mantle decorating video, I will have that either to the right or to the left. You can click on and watch that, along with the 2 other DIY videos we talked about earlier. Thank you so much for watching, my friend, and I will catch you next time, most likely in my wreath video. Much love to you and Merry Christmas.